Sony must think so because it built the ZV-1 camera expressly for that purpose. The ZV-1 has a lot going for it for that job. It has a built-in high-quality microphone, a flip-out screen, built-in image stabilization, and Sony's uncanny eye autofocus system. All that being said, $800 is a lot of money, and vlogging is a very demanding task, as it has the same lens and sensor as the RX105 and the same autofocus system as the RX107. But it has a plastic rather than a metal body like other RX100 cameras, so I wouldn't expect it to be quite as tough as those cameras, and it might not be ideal for rough and tumble blogging where you're doing sports, action, or other things like that. Because it has a fixed lens, small sensor, and lots of automatic controls, the ZV-1 is a good step-up camera for folks that might be already vlogging on a smartphone. However, that also makes it less versatile than a DSLR or mirrorless camera with an interchangeable lens. Built-in high-quality microphone that even comes with a dead cat cover to cut out wind noise. And if you want to use your own microphone like this Rode Wireless Go, you can also plug that into the microphone jack. Unfortunately, however, it doesn't have a headphone jack. Then there's the display, which is the only way to shoot because there's no built-in electronic viewfinder. It flips around and to the side, so you can use it with both a microphone attached and a tripod at the same time. It's bright enough to use in direct sunlight. Bizarrely, you can't really use it with polarized sunglasses at the same time because the screen just turns black. That's kind of a bizarre oversight by Sony. And speaking of tripods, Sony offers the ZV-1 in a kit with a Bluetooth grip that converts into a tripod. It looks like it's worth the extra $150. As with most other Sony cameras, you can use the touch display to set the focus point, but not control the menus. That means that you have to reach around the back of the camera when you're vlogging to adjust the control wheel, which is really quite awkward to do at times. I don't understand why Sony has held out on this for so long, as all other camera companies do allow you to do touch control via the menu. Manual controls are limited, so it's probably easiest to use the quick menu to change settings, but again, that's not very convenient when you're vlogging. ZV-1 just has a single UHS-1 card slot, but this is the rare camera where that's kind of okay. The camera is clearly too small to have two SD card slots, and UHS-1 is fast enough for 4K video at 30 frames per second. Another blast from the past is the borderline obsolete micro USB rather than a USB-C port. Also, this camera has a very small battery that lasts under an hour when you're shooting video, I found, for vlogging, and a tally light that shows when you're recording. Millimeter equivalent lens is borderline not wide enough for certain types of vlogging. Well, however, as you can see, it's much too jolty without stabilization. Exposure is usually a no-go for vloggers because the camera can change the settings in a jerky and distracting way. Well, the ZV-1 has a face priority exposure mode, and it automatically keeps the feature on this camera by far is the autofocus. As usual with Sony's latest cameras, it keeps you locked in focus no matter what you do. In front of the lens, and the camera will instantly focus on that and take the focus away. The focus trick is the background defocus when you outdoor lighting conditions because the ZV-1 has a built-in neutral density or ND filter. Another handy feature for beauty vloggers is the soft skin effect. I've got it turned on here at the low setting, and then here it is at the high setting. As you can see, it's a bit aggressive at that setting, so you'll probably either want to stick to low or turn it off because it can make your skin look a little bit on the plastic side. Once you finish shooting, you'll be happy with the video quality. It's tack sharp and color accurate in standard mode, and if that won't do, you can draw out some extra dynamic range using Sony's S-Log3 or HLG settings. There's no 10-bit shooting, but I wouldn't expect that in a small compact camera where overheating can be a problem. This camera already gets warm to the touch after just a few minutes of continuous shooting. Footage is usable up to about ISO 3200 or 6400, which is very respectable for a small sensor camera. Just be aware that you won't have a lot of room to adjust the footage, so make sure it's properly exposed. All told, it delivers outstanding video quality for such a small camera. Handle the chore well. You get very fast 24 frame per second continuous shooting speeds, along with the autofocus features like animal tracking found on Sony's latest RX107 camera. Photo quality is identical between those models, with plenty of detail and natural colors. So I'd also really like to see a headphone port and a real touchscreen, superb autofocus, built-in high-quality microphone, and more. $800 isn't cheap, however, and you could actually get Sony's mirrorless A6100 or Canon's M6 Mark II, both with a lens, for less money. But this camera is easier to use and does most vlogging jobs better than both of those cameras.